we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Have you ever had a moment where you have a goal or an aspiration that you are so passionate about and you put a lot of progress and effort into this thing trying to achieve it, and you go and you think about this thing constantly, can't sleep, you're so excited about trying to achieve this, you're obsessed with it, and your mind will make up false and unrealistic scenarios to try to stop you, try to freeze you. And if you give in and listen to, those lies that your mind is telling you, you end up dropping all your progress and maybe stopping altogether because you're afraid. And you end up self sabotaging what could have been a good thing. And I've had these moments before. I had this moment when I was creating this channel, this page, this podcast, this show, whatever you want to call it. I wanted to do this in February of 2025, and now it's almost June, May 2025, and this is my third one I'm doing. And it's crazy that for such a long time, in my mind, I kept making up excuses and ways to talk me out of doing this that, oh, I don't want to make a fool out of myself. I don't want people to make a fool out of me. I don't want, you know, my mic to stop working for some reason in the second episode. I don't want to have a bad background and just, not find a good place to keep the people watching engaged. I don't want to stumble up on my words like I do every other sentence. I don't want to say 50 times. I don't want my voice to crack like that. And sometimes we just have to realize that those things are just going to happen and that it's not the end of the world. People have done the same thing as you. We've lived on this earth for so long. The human race is bound to have done something that you are worrying about, and it ended up being fine. People have started YouTube channels before, and they've not gone so well. People have gone to the gym and been judged. People have done all this other stuff, but those are just so small moments in our life. And most of the time, that stuff doesn't happen. And that's just our mind assuming the worst. And imagination isn't always a bad thing because we don't always just suffer in our imagination. We can create the most innovative and powerful ideas in our own imagination. But our imagination can also be a detriment to us when we're talking about making up some fake scenarios. But it can also help, you know, guide our judgment to what really is the right path to take. Should I go out at 4 o'clock and do some illegal things or whatever? Probably not. And your mind says, oh, you might end up in trouble. Well, that's pretty realistic. But other times, like, oh, I want to go to the gym. And your mind is like, no, you're going to get judged. You're going to get weird looks from people. It's like, that's so unrealistic. That's not true. And it's preventing you from starting, and you end up just self sabotaging yourself. And we got to be like that Nike guy and just do it from from like 2007, 2008 or whatever that was from. You just got to go do it and ugh, got to stop being so afraid of going out there and making your mark on the world. Cuz you're not going to be met with all this backlash and hate if you go and decide to do something. Especially if you go do it for yourself and you think you're going to be met with hate. Even if you are, don't give in to that. Don't give in to your mind saying bad stuff, and don't give in to people saying bad stuff if that does happen. But our minds sometimes are really our greatest asset and our worst enemy because it will create those fabricated lies and stories that paralyze us. Because the mind is the greatest storyteller, and we can't let ourselves give in to that because then nothing would get done. We wouldn't have any dreams. We wouldn't go out of our comfort zone. Our mind wants to keep ourselves in the comfort zone, whatever that is, whatever that may be for you. For a while, I didn't want to get out here. I didn't want to go touch grass and do this, basically. I didn't want to go for nature walks and look at all the animals and get all the pollen up my nose. I was too afraid, and I had all these scenarios that, oh, I don't really want to. Like, it's like I can just go to the gym and do incline treadmill or stairmaster, and it's the same thing. But it's so much nicer, and it just fills you with so much joy just to get outside every once in a while. But whatever that comfort zone is for you, don't let your mind restrict you to that, because the mind creates, it contradicts itself. It creates these ideas and these our passions, and then we'll say, hold up, let's just take a step back real quick. I don't think you should do this anymore. And we second guess ourselves, and we got to know how to overcome those things. And I think that's just really analyzing all your thoughts and taking a thought and looking at it from a neutral perspective and being like, is this thought good or bad? And I know it's hard to classify things as just good or bad, but just try to take a look at it and say, this is good or this is bad. And if it's good, then nice. We can keep thinking about that thought, keep it in our brain, that can motivate us, that can help us, um, or that can tell us what to do the right thing. Because sometimes good thoughts are stuff that prevent us from doing stuff. Like I said before, with, you know, doing illegal things, right? That's a bad thing, but the good thought is preventing that. But we have bad thoughts, and if we have that bad thought, we got to look at it and be like, is this really helping me? Is it hurting you? Yeah. So what's the point of thinking about it anymore? Get it out of your mind. And I like to think about it as looking up in the sky and seeing a cloud and letting it pass by, getting it out of your mind and not having to think about those negative thoughts anymore that are restricting you to be in your comfort zone. Let that cloud just pass on by. Think about a river, stuff flowing down a river, like a log in the river, just floating down, leaves in a river floating down. Let that get out of your mind and only collect the things that are going to benefit you. And it's just like in life, like outside in our social life. Maybe let the people who are really negative, who really aren't bringing you any joy in your life, let them float along. Maybe just not reach out as much, because those people are also going to keep you in your comfort zone if they aren't helping you improve constantly, if you aren't helping them improve, learning and growing. And it all starts with just the mind being able to not be paralyzed anymore and start being able to live life. Because I saw another quote that said, if you live in fear, ah, shoot, I might have forgot it. It was something along along the lines of, if you live in fear, then you aren't living. Something like that. It was probably a little more philosophical and a little bit more deep than my paraphrase, but that is really true. If you live in fear, then you aren't experiencing life to the fullest. You're getting restricted by your mind or by people. And a lot of the times, you're making stuff up. It's all baloney. You're just, it's not, it's not helping you. It's hurting you. You need to be set free. So don't let any buddy or any mind take your passions and your quirks and your uniqueness away from you, because that's who you are. Nobody's perfect. You can't judge somebody and tell them that they're not doing something right or that they should stop doing something. they are probably struggling with the same thing, or your mind is just not wanting to do something that they it's knowing it's good for you. It's knowing that what you want to do is a good thing, but it's just telling you, no, you shouldn't do that anymore. I don't want to. I don't want to go on a walk. I don't want to go lift weights because it hurts. And you just end up being stuck in a loop. It's a cycle of self sabotage leading into self hatred, possibly. And then you were really, truly just stuck, living the same life over and over again and not trying anything new. So I implore you, please try to get out of your comfort zone today. Do something new. Go on a walk if you haven't gone on a walk in a while. Go work out, go read, go do whatever you like to do. Set some small goals for yourself. Do some good things throughout the day. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Live the life you want to live. Don't be afraid.